Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody out in social media land, TV land, wherever you're watching our show. Welcome to Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. I'm Ray Amanat here in sunny Port Richey, Florida. And joining me right now, inappropriately, a little too soon, is Mr.
Is that better
Mr.
for you?
Steve Reed from somewhere in an undisclosed safe house
Yeah,
in northern Texas.
yeah. Just remember, Ray, I've got the controls and I can get you out of the screen as well.
I understand. I understand.
How in the world are you?
I am doing excellent. I'm excited. I'm doing a presentation today later on for the Disability Achievement Center in
Oh, that's
Largo,
cool.
Florida. We've got
Oh,
about
cool.
20 participants, and these are all people that have some form of it's a person with a disability.
Yeah.
Um, a
Oh, that's cool.
person first, and we're just going to adapt what we offer to fit their
Yeah.
abilities.
Outstanding. That is
So
outstanding.
I
It's
am excited.
interesting you share that because I was in a group last night and connected with a guy that has a podcast channel, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I think it was called the Disability Channel. I
Mhm.
think that's what it was. And so I'm going to be talking to him in the next week or so about having him as a guest on our program.
That would be great. Is Joe Biden the poster child for that group?
Oh, right. Right. You're starting off in
I'm,
crime form. I love it.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm sure Facebook is going to be like,
Yeah, but that's
put us
okay.
in jail.
Yeah, it's not our problem.
All
So
the other social media platforms, put us in jail.
yeah,
Whatever.
that's okay. It's all right. Well, Ray, you saying that, thankfully, we are putting all of the pieces in motion to be syndicated on the one and only OBBM network, Offbeat Business Network, and we are so grateful for our wonderful friend Susan Hamilton for making all the arrangements, and we're going to be on all of the major podcast channels. So we're very excited. So
Yes.
if you're not on Facebook Live or on YouTube Live, then you can always find us on one of these other channels as well. So
And as soon
stay
as we
tuned for
get
more
a
updates.
list of all of those
Yep,
channels,
yep,
then we'll
we're
be
working on it.
promoting it and promoting it
We
and
is
promoting it.
working on it.
Yeah.
So Ray,
So,
we got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
I mean, today's topic is going to be, of course, the House of Representative updates for that whole voting debacle that went on. And, of course, more Biden scandals. Oh my gosh. How
Okay.
can he still be president? That's the question that I have.
I'm surprised he's still walking upright.
For as much as they went after Donald Trump,
Yep.
and Biden says it's so abhorrent for Donald Trump to have had top secret documents,
Oh, I know.
classified documents on his property or whatever else. Oh, hey, guess what? Lo and behold,
Yeah.
Joe Biden has done the same thing.
Well, and here's the other
I
side of
wish
this.
I could use my sound effect board. I would
I
just be
know. We're
going
gonna
to
work on that.
town on this.
We're gonna work on that. But here's the interesting thing about that. And Ray, when you and I were talking yesterday about some of this stuff, I was in error yesterday. Actually, you probably heard me wrong, but I was in error yesterday. I am admitting it. I thought they said, the one report that I heard, I thought they said that the box of classified documents was found before the 2020 election, but it wasn't. It was found a week or so
The
before
midterms.
the midterm elections. Yes.
Yeah, in November.
Yep. Yep. So just 2 months ago. But they hid it, they kept it hush hush until earlier this week.
Right.
I wonder what they're ashamed of or what they're trying to hide.
Well, I mean, you have the video of Biden just going off on Trump for doing that
Oh no,
and
it's
saying
insane.
shame on him.
Yeah.
And now here he is caught doing the same thing. And it documents for when he was vice president, I believe.
Actually, no, he wasn't doing the same thing. He was not doing the same thing. Okay. And
It
I say
wasn't locked in a
uh,
secure facility.
not just that,
It
not
was
just
locked in a
in a
closet.
closet. Okay. But not just that.
Ooh.
He did not have authority to take those documents out of the White House. He just assumed the authority. Donald Trump had the authority to take any documents anywhere he wanted to. If he wanted to take documents to Pakistan, he could do that if he wanted to, because he was the president.
Right.
And because he declassified all of those documents, he could put them on his dining room table. He could be sitting up by the pool at his residence in Florida and or wherever and just be skimming through the stuff with absolutely no security because he declassified all of those documents. Joe Biden, number one, doesn't have the authority to declassify anything
At that time.
at that time. Yes. Okay. And much less take them to an unsecured location on a college campus.
So I think this is a good time for us to say the opinions of this show.
Oh, all right.
Go
Long as
ahead.
you're saying that,
Put
here
it
we
up
go.
there.
Here we go. Are you happy now?
I,
Yes.
I am
These are
happy.
our opinions, and because we are right, then it is fact. Okay, plain and simple. So our friends in the media may not like some of the things we have to say, but that's
And if we're wrong, then
well,
we'll
we'll correct
admit
it.
it and tough
Oh,
titties.
absolutely, absolutely. Now we'll admit it when in the last 13 seconds of the program when everybody's already signing off. So we
Right.
won't come right out and say, "Hey, I was wrong." Okay?
So I have not seen any FBI raids on any of Biden's residences
Or the White
because of
House,
this, or the
or the
White
White House.
House. I haven't seen any of the things that any finger pointing, any yelling and screaming
Yeah.
against Biden like they did against Trump. Boy,
Y-
what a double standard.
No, no, that's not a double standard. It's no standard.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But stop
It's
and think
it's
of it.
the my way or the highway type
Well, I
thing.
mean, the gall, the arrogance that Biden has and his team and so forth. You know full well he's not the one that carried those documents. He didn't pick them up, put it in his briefcase, and walk out the door carrying those documents. He had an aide. He had somebody else that carried those documents for him. They are
Yeah, because he
culpable.
could barely walk. I mean,
Well, now keep in mind
let
it was
alone
7 years ago. Okay, 7 8 years ago. So he was a little bit more upright back then. Remember, he could take Trump out behind the schoolhouse and beat him up. Okay,
behind the bleachers.
yeah,
Yeah.
behind the bleachers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And now he can't ride a bike without falling off, or climb a set of stairs without falling over. So, or get lost in the rose garden. I mean, it just the list goes on.
So this is gonna sound like a conspiracy theory, but I saw one meme of Joe Biden where it's like, does he have a look-alike that impersonates him? Where he's got one picture where his earlobe is dangling, and
Yeah,
another picture where his earlobe is just like
right.
connected to the side of his jaw.
Yeah.
It's like, who's the real Joe Biden?
Well,
It's
you know,
there's more than one.
and I've heard even that Joe Biden is no longer with us, and they have stunt doubles, so to speak. So, will it ever come out? Don't know. But there are some people that are pretty emphatic that they have the
Well,
evidence, they have the proof that he is no longer with us.
I'm an inquiring mind, and I want to know.
Absolutely, that is
but
so
but
so
nobody
true.
nobody nobody's gonna do any type of investigation or come out with it because I was really hoping that when he met with Zelensky, that Zelensky would come out, but and say that this guy is incompetent. But because Zelensky needed the money
Oh
for
yeah.
the war against Russia,
No,
he's
oh,
not going to say
right,
a
right,
word.
right. No, he doesn't need the money for the war. He needs the money for he and his oligarchs to line their pockets. I guarantee if they ever did an audit of the whole Ukrainian economy, I guarantee you would find that there are a lot of big dogs that are getting richer and richer based on our contributions, our tax dollars.
Well, let's hope now that we have a new House of Representatives
Oh
that they
yes.
have an oversight committee that will
Oh
look
yes.
into and investigate where all of that money has been spent,
Yeah,
what it
exactly.
has purchased. I'm hoping McCarthy, Speaker McCarthy, does what he says he's going to do. And so far, it looks like he is, but time will tell.
I am very hopeful with what's going on. I think we're going to see some very good things, and I am very grateful for people like one of your Florida congressmen, Matt Gaetz, and what he has done, what he and Congresswoman Bobart, what they have done. They shook up the House of Representatives last week in a
Mhm.
good way, in a very good way. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it shows that we still have a little hint of democracy that's alive and well with our representatives. That they're using um, their positions to not let the swamp get away with everything they've been getting away with for the
Yeah.
last decade or
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Exactly. Now you made a comment right as we were getting on the show today, is that the chaos or all of the stuff that was going on last week. Um I was thrilled to pieces that all of those things were going on because that's the way it's supposed to be. Because
Well, the optics of it to me is look at all these elitists just sitting around. I mean, me seeing the Democrats just voting the same way over and over again and sitting and just laughing at the Republicans, looking at them, in their minds, they're eating each other, they're destroying each other, and they're just eating it up. Making their talking points. See, you guys voted the Republicans into power, and look at what you've got. You got
yeah,
a clown show.
yeah.
Um,
And that's the way the
it's
media was portraying it.
yeah,
Yeah. But that's the way government is supposed to work. You don't go in the dark of night and negotiate these things and come up with something in lockstep. You talk about the whole thing so that the world can see what's going on. That is representative government.
right.
It's not government by Nancy Pelosi edict and her saying this is the way it's going to be. That's not the way government is supposed to run. And so what we got to see last week is the actual negotiations and the way things are supposed to be done on the House floor. And that's
Absolutely.
exactly what our founding fathers designed. So I
I
mean, I've seen some videos and heard or seen some reports of some of the crazy things that went on decades ago, and I mean fights breaking out on the House
mhm.
floor. You look at the House of Burgess in England, and some of the things that they do, and you've got chairs that are flying and people beating each other up. Okay, bring back those days. I want to see that.
It's the way this country's headed with crime and violence. You'll see it sooner than you think.
You're probably right, but the point is the up until a week ago, the Democrats had a chokehold on the country. And if the Democrats wanted something, they got it because we didn't have enough Republicans that were going to fight the
Right,
Democrats. And as a result, I mean, we had a $1.7 trillion boondoggle that was passed right before Christmas,
right.
which
Well,
is insane.
well, Steve, let's do a deeper dive
Yes, sir.
into this, but we got to get to our little commercial breaks, according to our OBBM network.
Are you
So
ready to go?
let's get this
Well,
reel going, buddy.
Ray, I have a problem here. Keep talking. I'm trying to find you. Oh, I'm in the wrong file. I was in the
That's
wrong room.
okay.
I was in the wrong room. So here we go. I'll be back.
Hi, welcome to Heroes in Action. I'm Ray Amanat, founder and creator of this training system. I originally made it so that everyone can train for free. We have programs for kids, for women, families, and businesses. I'm an author, speaker, and educator on everything that has to do with violence and bullying prevention education. If you'd like more information about who we are and what our programs are, please go to our website at heroesinaction.us or give me a call if you have any questions at 727-314-2534. We hope to see you here to train.
Look at you.
We're getting a lot of new faces coming in and training with us at our facilities in Port Richey, Florida. So,
Outstanding.
I'm excited. We've been doing more and more free lectures to the public, and that
Yeah,
just generates the interest, and we get them
excellent.
to use this QR code, which takes us to our Calendly account, where everything that we're doing now is private lessons only. Um, so, if you want to set up a group class for your family or your co-workers or anything, then you just reserve the time slot and everyone shows up, and we will take care of you. And as always, it's free. We're doing today for the disability. All of our donors enable that
Yeah,
to help us make it free to them.
excellent.
So your donations matter. If you use this QR code, it'll take us to our donation page. We're looking for at least 800 people to donate $25 a month recurring. And that is a tax deductible donation for you when you make a donation. And that will enable us to continue doing our programs for free, as well as give out all our handouts. So it'll cover our printing costs, overhead costs, travel expenses. So please help us become part of that 800 people that will donate $25 a month to help keep our programs going.
And Ray, I got to tell you, one of these days I would love to get one of your capes.
Done. So you tell me if you want blue or red.
Excuse me, you would give me a blue cape?
Do you want a
I'm
blue
only
cake?
doing red. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
even.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. I got you. I got you. We
Oh,
didn't do that for the Democrat or Republican. We did it for boys and girls. I guess I should have had a pink cape and a different boy color.
yeah,
Who knows? But
yeah. Ray, tell us about the cruise.
so we have a cruise that's coming up in June of 2023, June 8th through the 12th. So it's a 5-day, 4-night cruise, and it's a fundraising cruise for Heroes in Action. It's going to be a Royal Caribbean cruise leaving out of Tampa Bay, Florida, going to wonderful Cozumel and returning to Tampa. And part of this is you get 6 hours of hands on training with myself and Debbie Schofield. Um, that takes you through all the fundamentals of how not to be a victim of violence. We do have reserved 10 balcony and 15 window cabins. You need to at least put your $100 deposit in now and then have the full trip paid for by, I believe, March 1st. Yeah, in 2023. So if you want to go on a cruise, go on a vacation with us and get some training in. If you don't want to get the training in, at least support Heroes in Action and go on a vacation with us. We would love to see you on this cruise.
And my apologies, I keep forgetting to change the name of the travel company.
Yeah, it's JR World
JR
Travel.
Junior World Travel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Excellent. Excellent. And here's what they get. They're going to get training from the master himself, how to block and strike. I like
So,
that.
what makes me unique? I've got over 40 years of training and research in violence prevention with both traditional martial arts and non traditional combative arts. And that would be techniques that military and law enforcement use. And I've created or combined a lot of that material and created a curriculum that we teach now. And we're doing instructor certification programs. So those of you out there that are interested in, we have 4 instructor levels. You start off with a level 1 and work your way up to level 4, and that'll enable you to really share a lot of material with the people that you work with.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
if you're interested in being instructor certified, you're looking at a 9-day program where we would host you in our apartment. You would actually live with me, live, eat, and breathe what I do.
Oh, that's scary. That's scary. Ray, there's another thing. So I shared the QR code a minute ago
Sure.
for the donations, but I discovered yesterday through your help that there is another way that people can support Heroes in Action, and that is if you are a shopper on Amazon, you can go to smile.amazon.com
Hmm.
and set it up with Heroes in Action as your chosen charity. So a percentage of everything that you buy that qualifies on Amazon, you guys get some nickels and dimes out of that.
0.05% of whatever you
That's
purchase
pretty
through
cool.
small
That's pretty cool.
is given back to Heroes in Action. Yes.
That is cool. So I like that. So I switched. I've had another charity that I've been supporting for a while now, and I thought, you know what, I need to support. I'm buying enough stuff, so I need to switch my loyalties to Heroes in Action through Amazon.com, smile.amazon.com. So
And we appreciate that. Thank you.
outstanding. All right, Ray, back to our topic at hand for the
Yes,
day.
please, Mr.
Okay,
Steve.
so last week we saw the circus. Okay, as the news media was talking, what
Right.
they didn't talk about was 20 years ago. That's the way it was. That's just the way it was. And
Well, they broke it down historically that it happened. I think what somewhere in the 1800s. I don't really have the dates down of how many times that this similar instance where there was a divide between the the majority that they had to debate and talk about it and hash out everything to come to an agreement as to how the House of Representatives was going to be run.
yeah,
So, yeah, this is nothing new.
no, it's not. It's not.
It's
But
new to us because we've never seen that historically
well,
during our
we have.
lifetimes.
We have. When you stop and think about it, the way Congress was originally set up, there was a process that they were supposed to go through in order to pass a bill. And the first thing is somebody would come up with the bill. Now, before I go into the next step, okay?
I'm
Who do
just
you
visualizing that cartoon that I watched when I was a kid.
exactly? Schoolhouse Rock. And you know what's
Yes.
funny is I saw an episode of Glenn Beck's program a couple days ago, and he's going through the whole Schoolhouse Rock thing, and it
Uh-huh.
was good. So anyway, so it was a good refresher. But who do you think writes most of the bills that are presented to Congress and are passed into law? Who do you think writes most of those bills?
Well, you would assume it would be congressmen, but I'm thinking it's more the lobbyists that are
Exactly.
approaching them with
Exactly.
these issues, saying, "Hey, look, we help fund your campaign to get elected, so we want this passed."
Exactly.
So it's the lobbyists
Exactly.
that are pushing their
Yeah,
agendas.
totally. And whether it's the pharmaceutical companies or the military complex or the farm complex or whatever the case is, you've got companies or associations, the auto industry, huge lobbying, okay? They're all pushing to get the bills passed that are favorable to them.
Right.
So, okay, so then let me ask you a crazy question. And I know this is going to be a hard one. I just saw a report a few days ago that former, I love saying this, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, okay? Former
Hmm.
because she was voted out, all right?
Yes.
Yay, okay? Former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, when she was originally elected to Congress 4 years ago, her net worth was about $17 million. Okay. Now, here's the crazy thing. Where did that $17 million come from? Okay. It came from her daddy and some of the things that he got. Anyway, that's another side story. Okay.
Right.
Her net worth when she was forced out of Congress. Let me see if I can find the number. Ray, I don't have the number. I don't have that form in front of me.
I think it was somewhere around 4 million or whatever, and
No,
then
for
by the time,
it was over $40 million. She started with 17, and she ended up with $40 million, is my
right,
understanding. Okay. Now here's the crazy question: the salary for a congressperson is $174,000 per year.
I'm sure she did a lot of smart investing.
Oh yeah, she probably called Hillary to get some ideas from Hillary on how to, get cattle futures or whatever. Okay. Maybe I know she called Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, to get some inside some stock tips from him. Okay, so
Not
no,
insider
no,
information,
no, no,
but
no. I
some.
didn't say insider information. I mean, it just some anyway. But when you look at some of the stuff, some of the corruption from that perspective, if you and I did some of those things, we would be in jail just like Martha Stewart
So
was.
I'm going right back to everyone was Donald Trump needs to show us his tax records. Donald Trump needs to show us his tax records. Well, I think every politician that has been there for decades
Yep.
needs to show us their tax
Yep.
records.
Well,
I want to know how they made their wealth.
Ray,
They
not
need
just
to
that,
they need to be held accountable.
not just that, but when they are elected, the day that they are sworn in, actually probably the day that the election results are revealed, I think every single person elected to any office has to have their money put into a blind trust. They have no control over it whatsoever. It's done.
Right.
It is frozen for that 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 12 years, whatever. Okay. It's in a blind trust. And they cannot take any money from any lobbying company or any of the industries that they represent in their districts.
Right.
And all of a sudden we're going to see things get cleaned up real fast.
Well, I'm hoping the new leaders of the House of Representatives will, follow through with these rules and guidelines and put or enforce term limits
Yes.
and enforce a lot of the other things that we're talking
Yeah.
about. Um, on a different topic, the one Republican um, representative in New York that, okay, he lied about his educational background, he lied about his income, he lied about
Yeah.
everything else. Well, the Democrats are coming forward and they're suing him and trying to get him out of that position or out of that office. Who was the other person that also lied about who they were? Trump called her Pocahontas.
Oh, right. Right. No, no. You have to
So
remember.
again, the double standards. Here, the Democrats are going after somebody and they're suing them because you lied. But then, I want to look at which politician has not lied.
Yeah.
They're all guilty
Yeah.
and they should all be held to task and
Well,
investigated. And if they're caught, then they should all be thrown out.
well, Ray, I've heard two different suggestions. Number one is every politician, they must wear a jacket of some sort when they are walking the halls of Congress and they're out and about with constituents and so forth, and they have to have sewn on the jacket the logos from all of the companies that are supporting them.
Yeah.
Okay, just like NASCAR. Okay, here are my sponsors. Okay, Gulf Oil, Exxon, AT&T, etc. What I know, Solyndra, whatever. Okay, that's one. Okay, here's the other one that I heard that I thought was a really good one. I know you've seen these things when they're training dogs. A collar that if
A
they
shot
start barking too
collar.
much, they
Yeah.
start barking too much, the owner can push a button and it gives the yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So every time a representative, either House or Senate, either one, I don't care, or the president, whichever, secretaries, whatever, anybody in a high official office, there's got to be somebody that's got one of those buttons that and sorry, what do you think we can make that?
Well,
Let's pass
I,
that into
I
law.
I I don't think so. I mean, we're allowed to fantasize. We're allowed to to dream about things like that. Somebody just accidentally sits on the button that keeps the current going, but
Wouldn't that be funny? That would be so wonderful. So, okay, so there were 20 House Republicans that were fighting against the vote
McCarthy
for
for
McCarthy, okay?
right.
So, and they whittled it down. McCarthy, you got to give him credit. He whittled it down and kept giving concessions and concessions. In the final vote that took place on Friday last week, I believe Matt Gaetz and Representative Bobart, I believe they both voted present. I
Yes,
don't think that they voted for or against McCarthy. I think they just voted present, which allowed for enough people to be recognized, and he won the election. Okay,
right.
but the key was that they kept fighting and fighting and fighting for some of the new rules or the restoration of some of the rules, putting things back in place.
Well,
Like,
before we go into those rules, let's take another break and talk about
we can
your.
we can do that. And right, here's one of the things I think I'm
I'm
going
a
to do.
taskmaster. We got it.
Yes,
We're
you
on a
are. Yes, you
time
are. Okay.
schedule here.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show a real short video, then I'm going to do a product demonstration. How's that? Here we go.
Ooh.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells, a true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. No drugs, no injections, no kidding.
All right, so it's time for a product demonstration, Ray. So this is what they're talking about. It's a little wafer thin patch that when you put this on your body, you can even wear it on your clothes, okay? And so when you put it within 3 inches of your body, it actually activates a copper peptide that tells your stem cells to go back to work. By the time we reach the age 60, our stem cells are pretty much dormant, only about 10% activity. This actually reactivates those stem cells. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, you ready? Drum roll. There's a little adhesive backing on it. I took part of the little paper backing off. Okay, I took the whole thing off. Okay, now Ray, you got to watch closely. Okay, okay. I can put it right here if I wanted to. I could put it on my temple. I could put it on my nose. I'm not going to. I'm going to put it on the base of my neck, and I'm going to wear it there for the next 12 hours. And while I'm wearing it, my stem cells are being reactivated. Now, what are the benefits? I'm going to show you a couple of real quick slides so that you see exactly what we're talking about. So, I love this slide in particular. I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older. I want to be younger because this actually reverses the aging process. We've got documentation that proves that. Okay. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have better sports performance. You're going to have better sleep. You're going to have more dramatic pain relief. I'm a walking testament. Well, I'm a scooting testament. I'm still not walking yet. So after my surgery back in November, wrinkle reduction. I had somebody come up to me after a presentation a few months ago and said, "Steve, you look a lot younger than you did on your Facebook pictures." And the Facebook picture was only a couple of years old. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I'll take that. Scar reduction, youth renewal, it's literally reversing the aging process. So we've got some really cool technology that really helps us reversing the aging process so that we actually feel better. We've got more energy, better sleep all the way around. Okay. Now, I don't know that I'm wearing that patch. It's not an injection, it's not a pill, it's not a drink or lotion, anything of that sort. It's just a simple little non transdermal patch that you peel off the backing, you stick it on your body any place you want to, and it's telling your stem cells to go to work. So, and it's less than the price of a cup of coffee a day.
And it's less than the cost of doing the stem cell injections, which is anywhere
No
between
question.
$4,000 to $8,000 out of
Yep.
pocket because the insurance companies don't cover that right now.
Yeah. And Ray, we've got so much research and documentation. David Schmidt, the founder of the company and chief researcher, he started researching all of this technology over 20 years ago. And one of the first contracts he got was for a patch we call our energy enhancers that he sold to the U.S. Navy SEALs. And, you know the SEALs aren't going to do something that's going to be uh, injurious to them.
You
So,
mean like getting the vaccine injected into them, where
oh, Ray.
more and more
What
people
an
are dying
opportunist.
in their 20s and 30s?
What an
Healthy
opportunist.
people, healthy people.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go there. But the
That's for another
football player.
show, but there's more
Yeah,
and more
that's
coming out.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But even football players can be subject to side effects from the injections. So anyway, all right. Let's get back to it. Okay. So there were 20 House
Holdouts.
Republicans that were fighting the election of McCarthy. Okay, and they kept chiseling away until they finally came up with a group of about, I don't know, 10, 15 different things that McCarthy actually agreed to. One of them, and you already mentioned, is that a vote for term limits would actually come to the House floor.
I That would be amazing if they were able
Yes,
to
that
do
would.
that.
I think that would be absolutely fabulous. S-
Hopefully they put something in there that, unlike Nancy Pelosi, well, let's vote it through and then see what's in the bill later.
yep.
And it's cram full of pork. Um, hopefully that's one of the rules that they discuss. I think you've got
Well,
something on this.
that is, and my understanding is they had some stipulations in there, one topic per bill. It's not one of
Yes,
these things that has 258 different things. Well, I'm voting for that bridge in Montana. And in order to
and
get
that's
that,
it.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Instead of having all these other special pork things that are in there, and then they pass it through the different committees at 2 in the morning, and then the whole house has to vote on it the next morning. Uh,
Right.
no, so that's one of the things that Congressman Gates and others really push to make sure it's one vote per or one topic per bill. I think that's genius. That's
I
a
do
huge
too.
thing. That is a huge
Yes.
thing. And they have to have a minimum of 72 hours reading time before they can pass the bill, before
Yeah, you
they
have
can vote on it.
what was it, a 4,000 page bill that just recently got passed? There's no way you can read that over a
No,
weekend or
no.
anything.
Well, but
Uh, with it
Ray,
only being one bill, not 200 other pork
exactly,
barrel,
exactly.
it's easier to look at within 72 hours and decide
Yeah,
whether it's worthy of funding or not.
right. That one
That
one
sounds
topic.
like common sense.
Well, we've been lacking that for a long time, a long time in Congress. No, Ray, and we talked a minute ago. The fact that most of these bills were written by lobbying companies, the
Hmm.
congressmen are just pushing through the bill so that they can pay back those lobbyists.
Right.
That's the whole thing. Well, with some of the things that were passed into the new rules, that's not going to happen as much. It'll still happen, but it's not going to happen as much. And that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. What do you think?
I think it's brilliant. It's I was kind of pissed at the holdouts, but now that I'm reading into more of why they were doing it
Yes.
and what they got out of it, it makes so much more sense, and it makes sure that we don't have the same of what we had going on in the past going on in our future.
Yeah.
We're changing. It was historical. We're actually changing history.
Well, Ray, there's another component to this also, and I heard this last night. I think it was on Dan Bongino's show yesterday. He made the comment that when you stop and think, if the House has one of these things, one of the rules that you can only have one subject matter in the bill, and the
Right.
Senate comes up with something and they try and push it on the House can just say,
DOR.
"Sorry, we can't do that."
Dead on arrival. Yeah,
So
it's
I really think that's probably one of the biggest things that we have. One of the other big ones is no proxy voting. Now, what that means is you've got to be in your seat voting. You can't have somebody else voting for you,
right.
or you can't vote long distance. You've got to be in your seat, and you got to push the button.
Hmm.
Now, that's a great thing, okay? So that means that our representatives are actually going to be in the halls of Congress representing us, okay?
Right.
Not out on the golf course or taking a luxury vacation to the Bahamas or whatever, like the guy that's occupying 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Who's using taxpayer money to put up a wall around his property, but he's not going to put up a wall around our borders.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of walls, did you happen to see the show video with him in El Paso a few days ago?
I I cringe whenever I see, because it's just optics.
Totally.
They showed a before and after picture. The before Biden arrived, it
Exactly.
was nasty,
Yeah.
dirty clothing and people all
Oh
over
yeah.
the place.
Yep.
when he arrived, it was
It's pristine.
pristine
Yep.
clean. And there's
Exactly.
like nothing to see here. There's nothing going on at the
Yeah.
borders. Our
Yeah.
borders are safe.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Now, the
I mean, do
the
we live in Russia?
yet
It's
uh
it's propaganda to a T of what the Russians would do to say no, we're not killing people. We're
yeah.
not doing this.
Here's the best part about that trip. Okay, he was met at the airport by Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
Mhm.
Okay, and Greg Abbott gave him a letter that spelled out federal law that mandates that the federal government do all of these different things. And there were like 4 or 5 different things, like Congress passed a law several years ago that they have to finish building the wall.
Right.
That was one of the first items in this thing. Okay, and I unfortunately I didn't print off a copy of that. I wish I had.
And that was one
Um,
of the first items that Biden stopped when he became president.
exactly. But what he's doing by not completing the wall is he's breaking the law.
Right.
And so, but Greg Abbott has these four, five, 6 things that it's all spelled out, and he hands Biden this letter and says, these are the things that you are supposed to do, bound by law. Okay.
Right.
And of course, the liberals on the left in the media are going nuts. Well, that is just so rude. That is so inconsiderate. Why would you do something like that? That is right. Remember, um, and I was gonna say when you were growing up, but
Oh,
somebody would get you a balloon and they and you got the balloon and then
right.
they start letting the air out real slowly. That's what it sounds like when they start talking on some of those other left leaning networks.
I agree. It's I mean, what can you say when finally people are growing a backbone
Yes.
and calling a spade and standing up to the establishment? I mean, Ron DeSantis, Governor Abbott. I wish more governors or leaders of other states
Yeah.
will file suit and
Exactly.
do the same thing.
Exactly. Yes.
Um, there would be you would get more results.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen as the more conservative contingency continues to grow and gain power, and the country starts to say, "Wow, this really is better for us." Then people are going to start waking up. Now, imagine what will happen in 2 years when we have the next election and our current Congress really starts to turn things around and starts moving us more on the conservative side and doing what the government was originally established to do. Imagine if we can vote out Mitch McConnell and have
Right.
him no longer as the Senate leader for the Republicans.
Here's my concern.
Okay?
If with this new House of Representatives, we start turning things around while Biden is in office and things start, economy starts getting better, we start paying off the debt and everything else. Who's going to take credit for that?
Well, he's going
Biden's
to
going to
take
be like,
credit,
"Well, I
obviously.
was the president. It was
Yeah,
this happened
obviously,
during my watch, and
obviously.
I'm running for office again." And if people that are not educated that are out there, they don't realize it wasn't Biden's doing. It
Yeah,
was the new House of Representatives that the majority that are changing the course of what's happening to
yeah,
our country.
exactly.
I hope people will wake up to that. If you're going to be woke, at least wake up to who's really doing the people's work. It's not Biden.
Yeah, well, speaking of woke, that was one of the things that they insisted on in the new House rules, that they get rid of some of the woke gender language that is being promoted on the floor of Congress. So there are two genders, male and
Yeah,
female.
you should go by if they want to follow the science,
Yeah,
not the psychology,
right.
but follow the science of you have a male PP and she has a female PP. That makes you a man and that makes you a woman. Follow the obvious science
Oh,
versus
right,
let's just follow the psychology of well, I think I'm a woman.
right.
Uh, that there's doctors for that.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Right. There was an absolutely
yes, I'm going to piss people off. I
That's
don't really
okay.
care.
There was a brilliant uh, spoof that was a young boy. He's probably 10, maybe 12 years old, and he's doing a spelling bee. And the girl that gets on stage right before him, she's got a really tough word, and she spells the word out, and the judges are like, "Yes, this is right. Okay, very good. Okay." Then this little boy, little Jimmy, gets up there. "Okay, Jimmy, your word is woman." And he says, "Woman. Okay, can you give that to me in a sentence? Can you give me the origin of the word?" And he's just, it's just okay, can you give me a definition of what is a woman? It is genius. I love it. "Would you just spell woman and get out of here? Get out of here. We don't want you." It is hysterical. So if you ever get a chance to find that, look for it. It is a
I will. I will.
spelling bee. So it goes right along with the videos put up by the satire site Babylon Bee. Those things are hysterical as well. So I love those things. By the way, Ray, did you know that people can get in touch with us by emailing us at taboo talk with Ray and Steve at gmail.com? Did you
I
know
did
that?
not know that.
You didn't
I'm
know
s-
that. Ray,
I'm so glad you brought
where
that up.
have you been? And now there's more, okay? Yes, there is more. We actually have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/ taboo talk with Ray and Steve. And so people can engage with us on
They
Facebook.
can comment on it.
Absolutely. They can even comment and they can like and subscribe on YouTube. So those are some really cool things also. And
And then we can give them our feedback.
absolutely. And Ray, if I'm not mistaken, people can actually share our videos as
Oh
well, our
my
podcast.
gosh.
I know. Is that not
What?
amazing?
The
Just think of it.
technology.
I know. It's just it is
How far we've
mind-boggling
come, Steve.
how incredible the technology is.
So if you are watching us, please comment, like, share, subscribe. Tell us what you think of our show. And if you have other topics you'd like us to talk about, we would be happy to research those topics
Yeah.
and bring you that information and engage you guys even more. It must be one condition only, a truly taboo topic.
Yes. Absolutely. Not basket weaving 101.
We're not doing a cooking show here.
I can boil water. Glass pitcher, microwave, 3 minutes. Done. I've got that down. So now, Ray, I got to give you a heads up on some things that we have to look forward to. Next week's program, we
Yes,
have we
please.
have a new friend of mine. His name is J.R. Smith. He is with the Veterans Ranch, and actually, he's in your backyard. He's in Lakeland, Florida.
That's not
And
far.
and what he does, this is genius. While he is not a veteran himself, he is very, very pro-military. His parents and grandparents and so forth, they were all veterans. Okay, so he is very pro-veteran. Well, what he's recognized is that there are a lot of veterans that are getting out of the military and they're dealing with emotional mental issues, a lot of PTSD, and he has developed a program that he can engage those veterans that are having the issues, engage them with horses.
Hmm.
And it is absolutely amazing, some of the stories. I was talking with one gentleman not too long ago, and he was dealing with a type of PTSD, wasn't military related, but were talking about it. And when he first started doing the horse therapy, he went to a ranch not too far from where I live, and he gets there. He gets into the pen with the horses, okay, and the into the corral, should I say? And
Right.
the trainer is standing there with him, and my friend was told, just stand here, don't do anything, don't try and coax the horses, just stand here. The horse will pick you. And sure
Right.
enough, one of the horses came walking up and starts nudging him and stuff, so forth. And then another horse, a little bit more aggressive, came up and said, "No, no, he's mine," and nudged the other horse out of the way. And my friend looks at the trainer and says, "How do they know?" He says, "They know." So that's what J.R. Smith does. And he's looking to expand his program into a nationwide program. So he's going to be talking about
I
some
would
really tough
love to
subjects.
meet
Yeah,
him. Yeah, I
yeah,
would love to
yeah,
go to his ranch and actually see
absolutely.
what he does. Yeah.
Well, see, he's going to be talking about PTSD. He's going to be talking about suicide also, and
Hmm.
we're going to be looking at some of the stats on some of the suicide things, and it's a lot worse than what we realize. Okay.
Right.
So that's one of the things. Then in about 3 weeks, we've got another gentleman. He's actually a pastor of a church, and he's going to be talking about the church and the whole LBGTMZRQY whatever,
All the
all the
different.
letters.
Right.
Exactly. And how the church should be responding. Now, that is a very much a taboo talk, okay? People
Yes.
don't want to, they just sweep it under the carpet. Well, he's going to be sharing some different insights, and I cannot wait to have him on the program as well.
Well, I mean, with that, it's like if you're Catholic or Christian uh, my background faith is the Baha'i faith. Um, if you choose to lead or be the homosexual lifestyle, that they would not marry you. You can't get married in that
Yeah.
religion. But I think there's some concessions going on now. I don't know. Based on what you've learned or studied over the years, as far as with Jesus Christ, that He accepts everyone.
Yeah.
That is a taboo topic.
Well, he doesn't condone, but he accepts. Okay.
Yes.
So anyway, so more of that. It's going to be early February, so I'm very, very excited about some of the programs that we've got coming up. And then again, I mentioned something about the disability channel, and we'll see if we can get that one worked out as well. So again,
Sure.
to our listening and viewing audience, if you've got some topics that you'd like us to talk about, then we'd love to visit with you. So
Okay.
anyway, right? Anything else?
No, we got to go. We got to
Yes,
wrap it up.
we do have to go. So, right, have a blessed day and best wishes on your seminar today. I know
Yeah.
you're going to be
Thank you.
amazing. All right, see you, buddy.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.